1 Ego Vov upgrade pack, 1 Ego He upgrade, no, 3 Ego He upgrade pack. I wonder what they planned on having people spend these on, huh? Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekmek, this is Limbus Company. Yes, I can actually get this, I just went and got that all on my own. Sue me.
管理人のダンテさんですね。アミヤです。ブリーフィング担当としてロドスアイランドから来ました。よろしくお願いします。
Anyway, they have the new content here.
管理人のダンテさんですね。アミヤ。
I'm sure we'll get a chance to show that off. We have about 28 days to get through this. Pilgrimage of Compassion. Okay. So, event bonus unit. We have 3 of these. You can earn a maximum of 120% boost to amount of currency earned. Great. And in terms of reward exchange, it'll be 1,000 before we can get Ishmael's ego, naturally. Oh well, let's see what the stages have to say. I'm curious about how we're getting involved. Hard mode will automatically clear the corresponding normal difficulty stages as well. Nice. Claim your progress rewards ahead of time. They will become unavailable after the event is over. LCPC. The Unknown Sea. Weak to gloom and weak to sloth, eh? Oh dear. Huh. We can't bring her in, darn it.
다들 연장 챙기죠.
사냥감을
관리인가.
And it doesn't look like we're even getting backup bonuses from this. Oh dear. Okay, you give us wrath. You give us pride. Actually, I just said, didn't I? Sway Association Heathcliff, Sway Association Gregor might be the best use. So let's see what this gives us. Yes, I know my identities are low level. I was exploring a Lobotomy Corporation branch when my consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river, swept up in its currents to nowhere. When we ran into an abnormality. But Sword told us Hongwan's Lobotomy Corps branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality, which appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than any we'd encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It was fathomlessly blue, and seemed to have a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, a myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts crashed into my mind like wild waves before ebbing away from its shores. I was already lost and adrift somewhere within my own unconsciousness when I realized this. Just how long am I going to be adrift? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while. Hey? An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimlessly drifting unconsciousness. Are you Dante? The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves. And a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am. Ah, what a relief! Gregor, I think Dante has come too. So who are... I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but... I felt the drowsiness coursing back with terrifying memories of the dream, rendering me unable to speak. I have to get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time has passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. There was that stranger from earlier sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the sights. A young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important right now. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I ended up in. So, we're standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling? A little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Iberia, huh? Yes, we're in Iberia. Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to Ucall's Great Lake. Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. I see. Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners then. The fog of my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. Sinners? I think so. I ran into them earlier. They were all looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person that they were looking for. So this clockhead does come in handy. Manager Bud! Dante! I'd woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face, and in the middle of all this all-around sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Gregor, Hong Lu! Miss Rabbit here told me she found you unconscious by the ocean, and came as fast as I could, and oh boy, I was worried something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine. Were you lost at sea? I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine though. I guess not having any way to drink water's finally come in handy. You should go get that checked out just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing, then mutters a casual quip as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger? So, what happened? Where are we? Do you remember entering that lobotomy core branch Zishun told us about? Yeah. Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got sucked into it before we even had the chance to do anything. Ugh, man. I really thought that was it for us, especially with you getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a scratch, though there was quite the mess when we realized that you'd gone missing. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not at Ucall's Great Lake? Some of it considered that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain we are not in District 21. She did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake at the outskirts, but that doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-eared lady there said. The outskirts region of the Great Lake. I've met all kinds of people from all over Terra, but I've never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way. Terra? Iberia? As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Huh? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet? It's just that it's all just a lot to take in. It's quite understandable. You did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. Cheers. Actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? I'm Amiya, the leader of Rhodes Island. Please, just call me Amiya. I'm Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. And we've gone all this time without raising the question of, wait, why is she understanding us? It seems this Rodeo Island is a pretty big corporation, but... Gregor trails off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is at all. As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the one Mr. Gregor explained. At least not with a name like the Head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo. Sorry, Gregor's kind of bad with names. So, what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore? It'd be weird for any higher up at these huge corporations to know less than about the Head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. Well, maybe we've tumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts of the ruins. Probably. Or maybe we've really found ourselves in a completely different world. Unfortunately, you're not going to be using Dimension Shredder this time, I'm sorry. If their conjecture is correct, we're in way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Amiya stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes. Recently, anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. And it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, to something we've never observed before, so... Seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. I really would have appreciated Force's input. Where'd all the other sinners go anyway? A bit late on the update to be gawking around for the other sinners now, don't you think? They're at a settlement near here, where they're all helping out with various odds and ends of the village. While taking turns searching for Dante, of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like fish out of water too. Man, barely got a wink of sleep since yesterday. How long have we been knocked out? Everyone's got to be really tired then. So it's just you two out here for now? Nah, Ishmael and Ishang are the other half of the search party. We just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching elsewhere for you to find your manager, bud. We got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until their shift is done. Oh, are we talking about that village you mentioned earlier? Uh-huh, right, yeah, not been there yet. I guess it's a bit off the beaten path. Well, we're going to have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amiya's interest, and she fell into a contemplative silence, before carefully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find Manager Bud, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. I don't actually know Iberia that well either, but I should be of some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission. Closed borders, huh? And how did you get in, Miss Amiya? We followed Dr. Kautset's orders and illegally crossed the country border. Illegally? Oh, does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permission, Amiya? We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be. Is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. Yeah, Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people infected with oropathy. But we also work to prevent and assist in management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas. High-risk areas, huh? Oh wait, what about your companions? I doubt you came all the way here on your own. That's, we were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop! Amiya's ears twitched as she came to a stop and began scanning around the area. Then, it was surrounding area. There! As we stood about confused, Amiya, noticing something, pointed over towards the seashore hidden behind large and cracked rock formations. What are we supposed to... Huh? There, we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword, bickering with two familiar faces. Again, move! You're in the way! You needn't worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. Listen, I'm not worried, it's... Come on, better have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, you're the first person we ran into out here, so... I've got a lot of questions to ask. He's saying Ishmael! Dante, you are unharmed. And here I was getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. We were all really worried that we might never be able to find you. Ooh, we managed to find them thanks to help from Miss Amiya here. Amiya? Are you two acquainted? Not a good time for a reunion. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Scotty, are those organisms the Seaborns Dr. Kaltsit mentioned? There are sea terrors, to be specific. The less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me. Sea terrors! I hear the sticky noise of something viscous slithering against the rocks. When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy wet scent of brine. Cold seawater? At the end of my gaze awaits strange monsters, unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I'd ever seen. It is as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. I was almost certain we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a wary mood, as Ishmael seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? I don't know. The Great Lakes and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries after all. Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I can make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. More enemies on the horizon! We should prepare for battle! Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. So, let's take them out. Down under, it's starting to move into summer territory, so I apologize if you hear me drinking from ice. Oh, that's cheeky. Ripping mutilation. Yikes. At low HP, convert all coins to unbreakable coins. 12 enemies. Right, Ishmael doesn't have her ego. 1 wrath, 1 sloth, 1 pride. I don't like that he's getting off a free shot. One wrath, one sloth, one pride.
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。
Okay, what's this stuff? At 30 stacks, becomes staggered. Take fixed damage equal to 25% of max HP, then remove this effect. Oh, good gravy, that's horrible. And there doesn't seem to be a way to make it count down. Unless... Inflict nervous impairment. And because it becomes unbreakable coins, it will eventually go through. When at the top of Nether Sea Brand, gain clash power and double amount of nervous impairment inflicted on hit. At turn end, take fixed damage and gain nervous impairment. Greatly increase nervous impairment taken from sea terrors. Nether Sea Brand's influence expands towards Sinner with each passing turn. Stage 1, nothing happens. Stage 2, 2 sinners. Stage 3, 5 sinners. Stage 4, all sinners. Okay, good to know. Darn it, he moved to the back of the line. That's a corrosion. I don't trust it. Oh wait, they're also weak to gluttony and pride? You jerks.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라. 거기까지.
ドクターのように優れた式ですね。
열어드리죠.
効果的な攻撃でした。
어라라지 정신 못 차릴 거야.
囚人の皆さんの状態を確認する必要がありそうです。管理人。
Maybe that's not on this round though. Hang on. Level 53. These guys are level 50. That's why our SP forces aren't going up. But also... Oh, so we are actually getting support passives in this fight. I was mistaken. Can we stop letting these guys get free hits off? It's annoying.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라.
어라라지 정신 못 차릴 거야.
Can you stop giving them free shots?
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
No good.
나아가주게.
파괴 완료.
Because he's level 53, he gets no SP from his friends it kills.
열어줬습니다.
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
If it does trigger corrosion, that's fine. Because the battle is almost over.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라. 위험 요소 제거. 그리워할 가치 없는 이 시대. 꿈에 허명에 빛은 눈이 부시진 않겠지.
Good job.
정신 못 차릴 거야. 파괴 완료.
Mission accomplished.
Well, that's very different, isn't it? All remaining enemies have retreated to the sea. Good work, everyone. Didn't think we would have to deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. Would have taken us the whole day if that Scotty character didn't occupy the other half while Miss Rabbit helped us from a distance. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I heard a brief hum. When I turned to look at its source, I saw Scuddy glaring at me with palpable alarm. Strange people who transform. And a head of clock? I guess they're both technically true. Well, it's nothing more than a theory at this point. I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating. This is basically how they excuse plot in Nikkei for how people from other franchises can come visit, except in this case, we're the visitors. And nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear a ticking clock. Oh, that's only because us sinners can hear Dante's voice. Huh? Huh? What's up? No, I'm just wondering how Miss Amaya can seemingly understand Dante. Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, it completely flew off my head that I didn't even question how weird this is. Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me too, but I don't know, it's almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotion they're trying to convey. Her explanation reminded me of the blue boy in Sinclair's past, but I didn't quite feel the uncanny sensation from Amiya that I felt from them. So she can read me kind of like how Virgilius can, I guess? And Don Quixote. She can do it too. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true, it's been a bit of a hassle to always need Forced or Honglu to translate for you, Dante. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we've got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So, we heading back? Sounds like a plan. It's not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she'd help us find our way back. I'm glad to be working with you two also, Miss Ishmael, Mr. Honglu. Took the words right out of my mouth. You already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. Oh, the journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it ere the sun's fall would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea. It's not like we have a clock with us. I do know that it's not very far though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. It doesn't tell time. I know, it's stupid. Scuddy quietly points in my direction. Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time. Then why the clock head? I didn't exactly choose to get myself a clock-shaped head. I looked away from Scotty's inquisitive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. The coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. So how did people manage to build a village at a place like this? The monsters are called Seaborns or Sea Terrors, yes. While it is true they possessed certain difficulties, they were hardly the kinds of monsters with the strength to bring scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. She's just telling us to be on our guard, right? Scuddy can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person. I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Scuddy's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quietly quickened my pace as we walked the village. And that's a good time to end the episode. So until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
이 정도면 보수도 짭짤하겠는데? 다들 땅보기 외식이나 할까요?
Manager level up, yes, but... Ooh. We got one of the packages that explode into more. Right, we're getting double points because we're doing it on hard mode and it's scoring for us for normal. So yeah, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.